Welcome to one more yoga with me. It's a 75 minutes yoga practice, as you would know. You're going to sit in a comfortably cross leg position. Take your time to arrive here. If you're not able to sit in a comfortably cross leg position, use a block. This is a beginner to intermediate level. Bringing ourselves into this mat. Bring your hands in prayer position in front of your heart. Say hello to my dog, Cookie. Set an intention for the practice. Let's chant one long Om. Om. Gently start rubbing your hands against each other to create some warmth between your palms and bring it onto your eyes. One more time. All through the practice, keep breathing as long and deep as possible. Now we are going to stretching our eyes, looking up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. One more. Gently closing your eyes. Now to the right, left, without moving your head to the right, left, right, left, right, left. Closing your eyes. Opening the eyes. Rotation of eyes 3 to 4 times clockwise and 3 to 4 times anti-clockwise to stretch the eye muscles in all directions and to increase the blood flow into our eyes. I advise to do this every day if you have this possibility, at least for 2 to 3 minutes per day. If you are finished, closing your eyes, gently start rubbing your hands to create warmth and keep it on your closed eyelids. One more time. Gently releasing the hands, interlocking your fingers. You are going to open our back muscle, right to side, and gently moving your hands up. Gently bring the hands behind your ears. Inhale, chin up. Exhale, chin comes down, hand comes down. One more time, opening our back. Try to, if you have a problem in sitting, you are always welcome to move. Inhale, chin up. Try to keep the hands behind your ears. Exhale, chin comes down, hand comes down. You are going to bring one of your hand to the opposite knee and the same hand goes back, stretching your back, twisting your spine. Breathe. Change of side. That is why I don't use right or left, because any side is perfectly fine. Inhale, lift your sternum to stretch your spine, and exhale, try to gently fall back. Breathe. Beautiful. We are going to open the obliques by bringing our right hand or the left hand to the side. You can see that I'm opening my obliques. You can stay on your palm or go to the level of your elbow. Try to open the chest, look up, and try to stretch your obliques. The opposite. So the point is to stretch the obliques. So you are using your elbow as a support and opening the chest, looking up, looking at your palm, however comfortable you are. You decide what is good for you. And now we are going to stretch our legs, rotating your ankle inside to outside, out to inside. You're going to flex the toes, point the toes to, you can also do one each or both sides. Inversion, the wide part of the feet touching, meeting each other, and aversion, the opposite. Try to keep the toes as wide as possible. There should be as much gap between the toes. Now bend your right leg, bring it on top of your left thigh, hold your big toes using your hand and rotate your ankle clockwise, anti-clockwise. Stretch the ankle by pulling your toes away from your shin. That's very good stretch. Now we are going to stretch the calf muscles, achilles tendon by pointing the toes towards your shin. Beautiful. With the same side hand, press the knee down, opening your hip flexors. Use the other hand behind you as a support for 3, 2, 1 and change. That is one of the reason you can always do what is right, what is left. So don't worry too much about the rights and lefts. See what is good for you and work the same. Try to balance both sides. We are stretching the shin, ankle. Very good flexibility of your ankle helps us to walk perfectly. And calf muscles. Achilles tendon is a huge tendon, so it will take a lot of time for you to stretch. And then hip flexors by bringing the hand behind your back and pressing the knee down. All through the practice, try to do as long inhalation as possible and as long exhalation as possible. Beautiful. Now we are going to gently open our hip muscle, adductor muscle. Your heels are 30 centimeters in front of you. While you are trying to come forward, press the knee towards the mat and use your hands to walk yourself away and towards the mat. Gently opening the lumbar back, hip flexors, adductor muscles. Now we are going to open the back muscle by bringing our hands between our knees and pressing the knees together, opening our back. What I am showing. 3. Now we are going to go in Malasana, the Indian squat. If you have a tendency to not put your hips as low as possible, you can stay on your toes or you can open the leg to the V. The correct position is to keep the toes as much forward as possible and use your elbow or triceps to open the hips. We are gently using this time also to open our wrist clockwise, anti-clockwise. Use back of the palm inside out. When the back of the palm is exactly behind each other, press them against each other to open and stretch the muscles of your forearm. Once you have done inside to outside, please do the opposite. Now release the hands just in front of your foot. Your palms are attached and stuck to the ground and try to stretch the hamstring by straightening the leg. If you don't have a possibility to keep the palms completely down, it is okay to go on to your fingertips. but try to keep the straight as much as possible without locking the knee. Now opposite elbow and go gently swinging side to side, forward, opening our lumbar back. Your head weighs 7 kilos and it is pulling your spine towards the ground, stretching your spine. Very good for the morning. And release the hands, gently coming up. Our ragdoll. We will prepare ourselves to do some sun salutations. Surya Namaskar. Toes touching, heels touching, or open the legs to the width of your hips. You decide what is good for you. Inhale, arms up, arch back. Exhale, flex forward. Inhale, right leg goes as much back as possible. Drop your right knee, open your right ankle, opening our right psoas. Ensure that the front knee is 90 degree. Tuck the toe in, lift the hips up, sending the other leg back into a plank. Elbows are straight, eye of the elbow facing each other or towards outside. You can see my shoulders is completely engaged, glutes together, navel in. Exhale, knee, chest and chin. Ashta Anga Namaskaram. We are doing very slow. Beginning with the first one. Slide yourself into Bhujangasana Cobra. The entire anterior part, that is the front part of our body, is completely getting a stretch. You can see my elbows are pointing towards back. Tuck the toe in, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. You are welcome to walk your dog by bending one leg and straightening the other leg, trying to bring the heel into the mat. Inhale, right leg forward, drop your left knee, open your left leg. This helps us to open our left psoas and quads. Tuck the toe in, lift the heel up, other leg comes forward, standing forward bend, Uttanasana. Inhale, arms up, arch back. Exhale, relax. One more. Inhale, arms up, arch back. Exhale, flex forward. Inhale, left leg back. Holding your breath, other leg back into a plank. Exhale, knee, chest and chin, Ashtanga Namaskaram. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, inverted V. Inhale, left leg forward. Exhale, other leg forward. Inhale, arms up, arch back. Exhale, relax. Sun salutation A from Ashtanga style. Inhale, arm goes to the side. Exhale, flex forward. Inhale, halfway head up. Exhale, jump or walk back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, jump or walk between your hands. Exhale, head down. Inhale, hand goes to the side. Keep making a palm, looking at your palm. Exhale, Samastirihi. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway head up. Exhale, jump back, Chaturanga. Inhale upward. Exhale downward. Inhale, jump or walk. Keep the inhalation. Exhale, head down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, Samasthitihi. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, head up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, jump or walk. Exhale, relax. Inhale, arms up and relax. Beautiful. So, we are going to continue our practice. We are going to make a V with your leg, catch your wrist and open your side obliques for 3. As usual, you can do whichever side is good for you. Come to center. Catch the opposite wrist. You can see that your legs are like a V, so that you have enough balance. You're not falling to one side or the other. 3, 2, and 1. Come to center. Open the legs into a V. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, flex forward. Catch your big toe using your first 3 fingers and exhale, head down. The more head down you do, your spine are automatically stretched. I'm using my elbow to the side. Keep weight on your toes. Breathe naturally and long and deep. You are going to Pada Hastasana. Try to bring your palm under your feet if you have this possibility. Your toes gently massaging your wrist. Inhale, head up and exhale, head down to go deeper into the pose. Breathe. 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 Beautiful. Continue for as much as possible. 5 long breaths. Feel the stretch on your hamstring, your entire triceps. Inhale, hands on your hips. Exhale, coming up. You can already see that I'm sweating a lot. You are going to open the legs to the width of your mat. I'm changing for the camera for Gajendrasana, elephant pose. You can see that I'm sending my hips as much back as possible, trying to bring my thigh and my upper body as much parallel as to the mat. My upper body is not so much parallel because I'm trying to talk, and see, I can go even more deeper until my upper body is between my knees. But keep the hips as much back as possible. Now extend the arms to work on your core strength, leg strength. Beautiful. Releasing the hands, stretching the leg. Exhale, head down. You are going to catch the opposite toes using the opposite hand. I'm keeping my right hand to it bit easier, and I'm trying to look under my right armpit. I'm coming up just to see what you guys are doing. Now inhale, turn to look under your armpit, feeling the stretch on your obliques. One more time. Stay as much as possible. Don't look at the camera, I'm not doing it. And the other side, change the hand, whatever hand was out, bring it in. So the opposite hand goes to the front. Now lift that arm and look under your armpit, feeling the stretch in your obliques. Come to center. Inhale, halfway head up. Exhale. Inhale, hands on your hips. Exhale, coming up. Now we are preparing to go for goddess pose or sumo squat. We are working on strengthening the legs today, at least in the beginning. So ensure that your knee is on top of your ankle when you go into the sumo squat. Squeeze your glutes together, lift your pelvic floor muscle, genitals in Mula Bandha. And we are going to stay there for as much as possible. You're welcome to keep the hands in prayer position while you're coming out without locking your knee. Come up, correct the toes, bring the legs together, preparing ourselves for the standing asanas. So I'm correcting the mat. First one, what we are going to do is Trikonasana, triangle pose. The leg goes out, hips stays parallel to the long edge of the mat, back leg parallel to the short edge of the back mat. Extend your arm, inhale, slide, exhale, drop your hands, hold your big toe. If you have a possibility to look at your armpit, you are welcome to do so. Otherwise, keep the vision in front, feel the stretch in your obliques, and you are going to stay there for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Always we come out during an inhalation. Inhale, coming up. This leg comes in. The opposite leg goes perpendicular to the front edge. Hip stays parallel. Back leg parallel to the back edge. And come down, holding your big toe for 5, 4. Breathe. 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 Coming up, correcting this leg together, preparing ourselves for prasarita. Now, hands on your hips. Inhale, opening your chest. Exhale, flex from your hips forward. Keep the hips as high as possible. Bring the hands between your legs and try to bring the head towards the mat. Most importantly, keep weight on your toes. If you have a possibility to reverse the direction of your fingers, walk away from you, try to bring your head to the mat, please do so. Breathe. Breathe. Inhale, walk the fingers back. Inhale, halfway head up. Exhale, inhale, hands on your hips. Exhale. Beautiful. We are going to go for the next asana, which is extended side angle. We are going to, sorry, I mentioned it wrong. Skandasana. Ensure that your toes are pointing up. If you have a possibility to release the hand in Namaskar, please do so. Or use your hand to interlock and give yourself a twist, please do so. Skandasana is very strong. If you don't have this possibility, keep the hands in front and feel the stretch in your hamstring. Beautiful. Using the hands or without using the hands, we are going to go for the other side, Skandasana. So you decide which is good for you. I'm coming out using my hands and going into the opposite side. Again, to protect your knees, the toes are always pointing up, knees up. Again, interlocking the fingers and going for a twist is optional. Don't try it if you are a beginner. You should feel balance. You should be in your whole foot if that is a possibility. If that is not possible, you can always stay on your toe of the bent leg. You decide what is good for you and work from there. Recognizing who we are is an important step to move ahead in life or in yoga. Gently coming up. Inhale, halfway head up. Exhale, hands on your hips, coming up, coming to the head of the mat. Since for me, I'm not coming to the head of the mat because of the camera angle, but you are welcome to come to the head of the mat, or if you are using very soft mat, go out of the mat, catch your big toe and stretch your hand, stretch your leg, feel the stretch on your hamstring. This is a very nice balancing pose, very basic. Today's class is building a sequence with basic asanas. Remember to breathe, remember to enjoy the practice. Now we are going to go for a tree pose. Bring the heel as high as possible. Hands can be in your front of your heart or above your head. Have a fixed gazing point. Keep weight on the foot that is on the mat as much balanced as possible. Breathe. Breathe. Gently coming out and preparing the other side. Beautiful. If you don't have a possibility to keep holding your big toe, you can release the hands, catch your inner thigh and keep the leg as straight as possible. Use both hands to lift the leg up. Now we are going to bring the leg to the inner thigh to go into the tree pose. Sometimes the tree is stable, sometimes there is a storm and the tree is not stable. Both are perfectly fine. You can see that I'm a bit stable today, but it is not the case all the time. I'm doing this video for the benefit of everybody. It's not studio done poses. So please excuse me if there is something that you feel is not appropriate. Now we are going to go for a half sun salutation. Inhale, arms up, arch back. Exhale, flex forward. Inhale, right leg goes back, drop your left knee, open your right leg, come up. The front leg is 90-degree on top of your ankle. When you go for a stretch, you can see that my entire back leg psoas is completely stretched. I change the side to show you the angle. You don't change the side. Again, you can stay with your hands in front of on top of your thigh or open your heart, going for a gentle back bend. But to do so, you have to keep your glutes clenched, navel up, navel in. All the bandhas are very important to protect your lower back and to give us maximum benefit. Now bring the opposite armpit to the outside of the front knee and go for looking back, massaging your internal organs. Your internal organs have thigh on one side, clenched glutes on the other side, spine on one side, and the last side. By breathing long and deeper, you are ensuring that we are having a very nice massage. Normally, we stay for 3 to 7 breaths. You decide which is good for you. We don't have to worry about the stability because back knee is completely down. Now bring the hands to both sides of your front leg, stretch the front leg. You can see that my back leg is 90-degree, my hips on top of my back knee, and I am stretching my front leg. I am dropping the pinky toe to one side, big toe to one side, internal rotation and external rotation. Inhale, send the upper body and try to bring the chin to the down part of your knee. Stretching your hamstring. You can see that I kept my toes in a very neutral position. You can always flex or point. Come out of the pose and we are going to tuck the toe in, lift the knee up, sending the leg back for through a plank. My plank is not perfect. Exhale, knee, chest, chin, Ashtanga Namaskar. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, inverted V. The opposite leg forward. Right leg. If you bring the right leg forward, then it should be perfectly fine. You remember in this case, I change the leg for the camera angle. So you have to do both sides, as simple as that. You want the quad stretch, psoas stretch. Always remember the intention of the practice. The intention of the practice is to stretch your body, mind, and take you to a place where you are normally not comfortable, but with control. Beautiful. Now we are going to bring the opposite armpit to internal massage. Staying there. Don't worry about the stability. Try to bring your belly as much against your thigh. Keep massaging yourself. Now send the hand to both sides of your front leg. Stretch the leg forward and exhale, head down. Pinky toe to the inside, outside, big toe to the inside, and keep internal rotation. You see that my hip, only my hip joint is rotating and all my other body parts are stable. All comes with practice. Once you have done both sides, I always request to go 5 to 7 times. It kind of helps us to reach a place, and then we are going to go for the static stretch of your hamstring, glutes, and also your spine. Once you have done that, beautiful. Sending the leg back, you are going to go for some cat camel. You are ensuring that your knee is on top of, hip is on top of your knee, shoulder on top of your wrist. Inhale, cat. Exhale, camel. Inhale, lift your head up. You see that my elbows, my arms are completely straight. Eye of the elbow facing forward. Exhale, the opposite. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Remember to apply your bandhas. In this channel, we give a lot of importance to the bandhas because that is like a protection mechanism. Now we are going to go for tiger. Inhale, right leg comes in, goes out. Exhale, bringing the right knee towards your armpit. Inhale, opening the body. Exhale, closing the body. You can see that my arms are straight and I'm trying to lift my back leg as much high as possible. At the same time, I'm not doing any exaggerated movements. There are some hip opening, but it is perfectly fine. Now we are going to send the right leg out, toes pointing down, sending the opposite arm out. Try to keep the navel in, engaging your glutes. Super nice core workout. Beautiful. And obviously the opposite side. Yoga, the union, always tries to do both the sides. I given a quick child pose to release our stress from our Shoulders, shoulder blades. I'm gently moving my palms facing up and down. Now, once you feel you're comfortable, going in all four one more time. And you see, I'm correcting my toes. Always when the body is open, you're inhaling, and the body is closed, we are exhaling. Inhale up, exhale. Inhale. Don't look at my face. Sometimes I have to look in the camera. Once you have done 3 to 5, stretch the leg out, toes pointing out, hips squared, opposite limb out. You can see that I have a wall in front, so I'm not able to stretch my hand completely, so I'm bringing it back. You decide. We want the limbs off the mat so that the core can work. Your core is keeping the leg out. Beautiful. Preparing ourselves for the next asana, which is sitting asanas. I'm going to change the camera angle. So we are going to do some sitting asanas from here. First of the sitting asana that we do, we are going to correct the mat also. Today's class is completely classical asanas, opening the hips, hip joints, hip sockets. We are going to open the leg to the width of your mat, toes pointing up, bend your right leg, your right heel comes as close as possible to your perineum. Bring it to the inner thigh, inhale, arms up, the same side hand catches the wrist of your opposite arm, and inhale, head up, and exhale, flexing from your hips, trying to interlock the leg before, and exhale, head down. If this is not possible, catch your big toe using your hands. If that is also not possible, catch your ankle, calf muscles, knee joint, whichever is possible, and you are going to stay there for 5 of Janu Shirasasana. Inhale, head up. Exhale, coming out. Inhale, the opposite arm goes up, and that goes to catch the outside edge of the front leg, and the other hand goes to the inner thigh of the opposite leg, and try to go a bit more deeper. Janusirasasana A variation. Try to bring the head towards the outside edge of the mat, and we are staying there for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Try to get as much stretch as possible. We are feeling the stretch in the obliques, lower back. Beautiful. Gently coming up, and we are going to do the reverse opposite leg. Bend your leg. Try to bring the heel as close as possible to your perineum. Toes pointing up. Correct anatomical position. Catch the opposite wrist if you have this possibility, and fall forward. If you don't have this possibility, catch the place wherever is comfortable for you. Again, practice, practice, practice brings us closer, closer, closer to our destination. So, if this is a beginner to intermediate level, so there is a possibility that you will not be in a position to do this. It's perfectly fine. I'm talking about catching the wrist and falling forward. So you might be holding your knee or a calf muscle, which is perfectly fine. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. These kind of stretches, you always stay for a longer period because we are working on huge muscles like our back, our hamstring, our mind. Inhale, coming up, opposite arm goes up, catches the outside edge of your front foot. Always see that my toes are pointing up, and exhale, falling forward down. And I'm trying to bring the back hand to the inner thigh. If that is not available, I am keeping it in a place that is comfortable for you on the outside of the mat. My intention is to bring my upper body to the outside of the foot so that my obliques and lumbar back can get a beautiful, long, deep stretch. Always remember bandhas and breathe. Breathe. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway head up. Exhale, preparing ourselves for Bandha Konasana, butterfly. You can see I'm bringing my both heels as close as possible to my perineum. My chest is up, spine straight, my shoulders down towards my kidney, elbows down. I'm doing butterfly in a comfortable position. If you cannot do this, you can always lift your hip, lift your back up by making a small block or something like that. Now we are going to open the hip flexors by catching the toes, using elbow on one thigh and your palm on the other side, pressing that knee towards the mat. Since I'm a bit more flexible and it is a warm time of the day, I'm open a bit more. Change of side. If you don't get this much possibility, it is perfectly fine also. It could be also because of the angle of your hip joint. Especially women, maybe sometimes you can do it, sometimes you cannot do it. Acknowledging and accepting. Now open the wide part of your foot, and since I'm a bit flexible, I can go more deeper to bring my chest or chin down. You can use your palms, fingers, walking yourself out and try to go down as much as possible. Try not to arch your spine too much. Send your chin first, head first, and staying as much as possible. Beautiful. Bandha Konasana. The knees are trying towards the mat, opening the adductor muscles, and breathe. Inhale gently, coming up. Keep the one leg bent. Catch the interlock your fingers to the wide part of your foot and stretch that leg out. I'm going to change the direction for your thing. You can see that this is not the correct position. The correct position is to keep the back as much straight as possible and then bend your legs. If that is not going to possible, you can hug your legs like what I just did. If you have a possibility to catch, please do so. Try to keep the spine as much straight as possible, and then if you have a possibility, open the elbow to the side and try to bring the head chin towards your knee. We're staying there for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay as much as you need. Gently release the hands, bend that leg and bring that foot as close as possible to your glutes, the wide parts of both legs matting each other. Of the same side armpit goes around your shin. That hand catches the wrist of your other hand. Asana variation, and try to bring the forehead or chin towards the mat. Again, don't arch your spine and staying there for as much as possible. Breathe, 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 breathe. Asana variation. Inhale gently coming up. exhale, releasing the hands, and we are going to do the opposite. Here I do a Janashirasana just to neutralize my back. Well, it was a small mistake that I did during the filming, so I'm just going to continue with that. Now we are going to stretch the leg. You remember your spine should be straight, you are sitting on your sitting bones, enjoying the practice and being there and being now. You don't have to be anywhere. We are doing simple asanas in this practice and very deeper practices, long and with such deeper intentions. We are stretching all the muscle groups of all the thing, of all the body. Now, Marichyasana variation. Whatever hand goes around your shin, that hand catches the wrist of your other hand, and you're trying to bring your armpit towards your shin so that you have space. If you bring your bone towards your shin, you cannot bend and you cannot go deeper. This is the process. Breathe. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, and we are going to go for preparing ourselves for Ardha Machendrasana twist of spinal twist. Sit on your sitting bones, bring one leg under your glutes. Opposite leg goes to the outside edge of your front knee, and you see that I am pressing my knee against the bent leg and trying to look back. The more you stretch your spine, erect your spine, more gap you will find to go into the twist. Ardha Machendrasana of spinal twist. Enjoying the practice. Remember the intention of the practice. If keeping the bent leg bent is difficult, you can always stretch that leg out. Send the head first, arms next, and reverse the direction of your legs. The front knee, the bent leg knee is facing forward, and you can see I am putting my sitting bone down. In this side, I am telling you, you can hug your knees if you need to, otherwise push your knee away, and I am correcting my leg lately at the end. So this is very nice way of Ardha Machendrasana twist of spinal twist. Breathe. Remember to stretch your spine and go deeper. Massaging your internal organs. Breathe. 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 Now send the head first, arm next, come out of the pose. One more time of Bandha Konasana, butterfly legs. Now we are going to go for cradling the baby on one side, gently opening our hips. It's the whole process that counts. We are trying to cover all the muscles groups of our body. And call your friend, hey, how are you? This is a very nice intermediate for beginner intermediate level. If you like to subscribe to this channel, this guy seems to be okay. You can welcome to subscribe to the channel, call your friend. Cradling the baby on the other side. Try to keep the back as straight as possible, spine as erect as possible. The name sitting bones comes for a reason, so try to sit on your sitting bones. Breathe. 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 Now you can call some other friends, ask them to see the video, subscribe this channel. You are opening the adductor muscle group, telling that this guy is trying something with his body, something with his YouTube channel. He's giving 75 minutes yoga class. Beautiful. Now we are going to open the hips and preparing ourselves for a counter pose. You can see I'm going to show two variations. The first variation is what I like. Fingers out, bending your knees to the width of your hips and lifting the hips up. And the second variation is keeping the legs stretched out, inclined plane. As I told you, I don't like the second variation, so I'm going to do the first variation. Inhale, lifting your hips higher, higher and higher. And once you have done, drop your neck in line. You can see I have a bit of a small belly, which is rice belly, which I'm proud of. You can see that my knee is exactly not on top of my ankle. So I need to correct that next time. So try to correct that if you are there. Your knee should not go away from your toe, big toe. So that is not so bad. Now we are going to go for Janushirasasana, Paschimottanasana, sitting forward bend. Inhale, head up, and exhale, drop yourself into the pose. Breathe. Breathe. Every inhalation creating space, and every exhalation enjoying the spaciousness. One of the best stretches for your hamstring, back, shoulders, arms, mind, sitting forward bend, Paschimottanasana. Normally you do this for 1 minute, 2 minutes. Towards the end, in Shivananda series, we already do it in the beginning. So there is always any asana can be anywhere. You decide what is good for you. Beautiful. Now we are preparing ourselves to go for some dolphin pose. Dolphin pose is very good to increase the shoulder strength. You can see I go from all four, bend, drop my elbows, interlock my fingers, lift my hips up, inhale forward, exhale back. You can see my back and my shoulder muscle working. I suggest you to do 7 to 10 each time. You can also, it's a bit complicated, it is difficult, but it helps us to go into headstand and other important poses, especially women, some men are not generally used to have stronger shoulder strength because we don't use them. So you can always do 5 to 7, and from there if you have a possibility to go into headstand, I suggest you to go into a headstand. If headstand is not your thing, then stay for a quick second and then you can go for, you see I am not doing the headstand, I am just preparing the headstand, and then you can always go to more dolphin. You decide which is good for you. Always remember to breathe as long and deep as possible. That is very important. Headstand, you can stay for 1 minute, 2 minutes. You should not feel any pain on your neck. All the weight comes into your shoulder. If headstand is not your possibility, you can stop doing the headstand, go for more dolphin. You can increase the dolphin numbers for as many as possible. Strengthen your shoulders and then headstands comes naturally. We are almost towards the end of the class. We will start cooling down. Headstand is already a very nice inversion, bit of a stronger inversion, but headstand is good. Once you finish the headstand, go into child pose. Beautiful. From the child pose, my normal cooling down asanas or shoulder stand, You see, I tell you how to do the child pose. If you cannot bring your forehead down by making fist and keeping your head on top of each other. From there, my normal cooling down process is 1 minute of shoulder stand, 1 minute of halasana, from halasana karnapidasana, from karnapidasana fish pose, from fish pose figure 4 stretch, from figure 4 stretch twists. So some of the poses I may or may not do, so you decide the sequence. I always try to do 1 minute or more. If this is not too much for you, you can keep holding the pose. Before we go into the cooling down, we can do some plank to increase the strength of your core. You see, I'm telling about lifting the leg, and I'm trying to keep my glutes engaged, navel in. Again, if you cannot stay on your wrist, you can always go into elbow. If staying in full plank is not an issue, you can always go into, we are going to go for side plank. You see that I'm using my elbow. Elbow is bent completely 90 degree, and I have a possibility to look at my palm. I'm lifting my hips as high as possible. At least stay for 30 seconds. These kind of things you can include all through the practice. I'm including at the end because your body is really warmed up, and you can push it to the bit more harder before we cool down. I already told you the cooling sequence so that you can really know. Again, if plank is not your favorite thing, you can already start your cooling process. I'm at the beginning level of my uploading full length videos. I'm using, so I always ask your apology. I apologize for any things that you feel bit difficult. I'm doing the video first and I'm trying to cover the audio later. So sometimes you can see that my lip sync is not in line. After the planks, I go for a quick child pose. Now preparing ourselves for the inversions. First inversion is sh. Before we do the inversion, again I'm doing bridge. You can see that I'm interlocking my fingers and then I'm bringing my shoulders in of wheel or Sedu Bandhasana or bridge, different names. More your knees falls to the side, more easy it is. So try to keep the knees as close as possible and facing away from you, and trying to lift the hips as high as possible and squeezing the glutes, navel in. You can see that I'm staying on my shoulder, not on my neck. It's the shoulder that carries my entire weight. Don't look at the camera. Don't look at your neighbor. You are looking in front. So we are doing the Mula Bandha, Udyana Bandha and the Jaladhara Bandha. Tucking the chin is happening naturally. So it's a perfect pose to really work on your spine. You can see that our spine is off circle. You can come back. You have a possibility to go for full cycle, full wheel. You are welcome to do so. Bring the palms facing down, fingers facing towards your toes. Lift yourself up and try to keep the chest open. Again, open knees is good. If you are a beginner, Try to keep the knees as much as possible. If this is not possible, come down and then go for, you can always skip this whole process and go for the bridge again. You can always stay for longer period because it really strengthens your shoulders, back, glutes, legs, all the muscle groups. It really strengthens and it really stretches the entire anterior part of your muscles. So you have a beautiful stretch. But whenever you are to come out, inhale, lift the head up and try to come to your shoulders. Now bend your knees, hug your pelvis to neutralize your spine. For 5, 4, go down to down, and then preparing ourselves for the inversions. This is shoulder stand. I think in this video I come out and go in, but once you are in, don't look at the video, look at your toe. Try to walk your palms towards the mat so that you can go straight and straight. Beautiful. Don't look at the camera. Shoulder stand. At least for a minute, I tell. I go for the timer. Maybe not. You can see that after this practice, I'm completely sweating. Don't see because you are in shoulder stand. Breathe. So this video is done at my home in Auroville, Pondicherry, India. We are in this beautiful community where it's for human experimentation. From shoulder stand, drop your legs to the back of your head. If you have a possibility to release the hands from your back, interlock your fingers, give yourself a very nice stretch. If you don't have this possibility, keep your hands on your back for hala asana. Hala means plow. Again, all the inversions we do at least for a minute to enjoy the benefits of the pose. Inversions are called time reversals. You see, I say how to interlock the hands. You can always check the video, pause the video and go into the pose. Remember to subscribe, come back again. I'm trying to make one video per month, per week. Let's say how it goes. From halasana, drop your knees to the side of your ears, karnapidasana. Again, we are going to stay there for one. You can always release the hand from your interlock and try to cover your ears. And again, it is not a must, it is not important. The point is to keep the spine erect, keep the weight on your shoulders, not on your neck. Don't look at the camera, I keep saying something. Now come out of the pose in your own time. For me, I like to send my entire glutes around my hand and stretch the leg out. From there, Makshayasana, fish pose. Again, lift your head up, drop your head down, feel the opening of your rib cage, enabling you to take more oxygen, and also you are opening the throat in fish and you are trying to bring the crown of the mat head into the mat. That means that you're really open and like a fish breathing in water. You can breathe as much as possible. Breathe. From there, come back into the same version as we do for bridge pose, preparing ourselves for figure 4 stretch. Bring your Right leg on top of your left thigh, right hand goes between your legs, left hand comes from the outside. Interlock your fingers on your shin and give yourself a very nice hug. All this one at least for a minute or more, especially this pose, the twist. You can do it in your bed during the night. It really helps you to fall asleep a bit faster. Feel the stretch in your glutes. Ensure that your back of your neck is on the mat. I keep moving my head, but don't move your head. Just look up. Try to bring the knee as close as possible. The glutes of the bent leg is the one that is getting stretched. Every asana is a place to meditate. So you can always close your eyes, meditate, change the leg. Whatever leg is bent, that hand goes to the inner thigh, interlocking your fingers on your shin and hug yourself. Breathe. 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 Beautiful. And we are going to go for a simple twist. Stretch both legs. Bend your right leg, bring it on top of your left thigh. Using the opposite hand, try to bring the knee towards the mat and look to the opposite side. Don't lift your shoulders to compensate to bring the knee down. Every inhalation, take the prana. While you're exhaling, you see that there is a space available for us at our midline and use that space. Every inhalation, take the prana, exhale completely. At the end of an exhalation, you have the space, go into the space and breathe from there. Very, very, very nice. Twists are very important in our life. Without twist, our life gets boring. Always remember this thing. The more twists we have, more better life we have. You are welcome to close your eyes. Now we are going to change the leg. Go to the opposite leg. If keeping the leg on top of your thigh is an issue, you can drop the leg to the down. Breathe. Remember the drill. Inhale, taking the prana. Exhale, using the space and taking prana from that point of that space and progressively going deeper and deeper and deeper, at least for a minute on each side, or you can go for 5 breaths, 10 breath cycle. Now catch the big toe of one of the leg, try to straighten the leg, stretching the hamstring, back, shoulders of that leg. The opposite hand can push the other hip down to keep that leg down. If you can lift your back up, head up, you can do so. Feel the stretch on your hamstring, calf muscle. Your leg needs to be straight. If your leg is not that much straight, then you can always Release the toe and catch your ankle or calf muscles or whichever allows you to have a straighter leg. Catching the toes, dropping to the side and looking to the opposite side of your foot. Again, if you can not keep holding the toe, it is perfectly fine to release the toe. Catch your ankle, calf muscles, inner thigh, and use the other hand on your hips to keep the hips glued to the mat instead of trying to lift, because when the other leg is down, this hip will try to compensate. The point is stretch, hip stretch, so try not to do it. You can see that I keep my hands on my hips, feeling the stretch, enjoying the stretch, coming up, and we come down to bring the leg down as low as possible to work on our core a bit more in the last minute. Of course, the opposite side. Yoga, the union. You can see how I'm correcting my leg. If you have a bent leg, you can use the opposite arm. The union happens not by force, the union happens by practice. More and more practice you can do, more and more flexible you become, more and more strong you will become, more and more happy and relaxed you become. Remember to open the leg to the side. Remember, you can always leave the big toe, catch your ankle, calf muscle, inner thigh, other hand on your hip. So this asana practice is a perfect beginner to intermediate level. You don't have to do any other asanas, because I try to cover as much asanas in this to cover the entire muscle group. There is a very bit less of back bend in this, but we did the sun salutation bit slower. Bhujanga asanas and all helped us with the back bend. So from here you are going to go for balasana, happy baby. You can grab your big toe or the outside of your foot, the ankle, whichever works for you. You can do the stable version or the moving version. You decide which is good for you. Thank you for staying in this asana for asana practice for this long. We have still here and then shavasana. Don't leave. Shavasana is as important as the whole practice. Once you are able to finish your Ananda Balasana, you can see I am going for a fetal Shavasana. I am going into fetal position and I am staying there. Integrating the work of my practice. You can also go for a general Shavasana, legs pointing down, laying down on your back, palms facing up. You decide which is good for you. Again, you can pause the video and stay in Shavasana for a longer period. It is up to you to go for what is good for you. Do the practice. In my humble request, you can do it every day, but I know the outside world is not as ideal as we would like to have. So practice 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Now we are going to go to the final phase of the practice, is to thank and complete the class. Bringing our hands in prayer position in front of our heart. Thank yourself. Thank this physical body that has helped us with the practice. Let's chant one long Om followed by 3 Shanti to integrate the benefits. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bringing the hands to the third eye, the seat of intuition. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your wonderful contribution.